Okay, so this is our fourth and final video. We've been talking about length of stay and how we manage for length of stay. We want the pet's length of stay to be as low as possible, but we also want to be responsible about managing their pathway out of the building. So we introduced the concept of length of stay. We talked about pathway planning and rounds, which is an operational techniques we use to move animals through the shelter system. In the last video, the third video, we talked about the nuance of length of stay and what extends an animal's length of stay and what is the reasons why an animal would not be placed up for adoption, because we're trying to get them ready for adoption. And so in this final video, we're going to talk about how we manage for long-term residents. And Katie, that's the thing that you're particularly passionate about and you pay close attention to. So what are those different benchmarks of an animal's length of stay here?
Yeah, so the first benchmark that we're looking for is when they hit 3 months here. Once they hit 3 months, they are a long-term resident. So I look at that at the beginning of every week, every Monday, and I determine who's reached their 3-month point.
Okay.
They go onto that list, and then we have those different benchmarks of we have 3 to 6 months, then we have 6 to 9 months, and then we have 9 to 12, and then finally they go to 12 plus months.
Okay.
So as I move them over, we acknowledge it. We send an email to all staff to let them know who's been here the longest and who we should be focusing on the most to really try and find a good pathway out of here.
Right. And in the last video I covered this, but just to reiterate, is there any finite amount of time that an animal can stay here before something else happens, or can an animal be here for as long as they need?
They can be here as long as they need to be. We're going to work with them. We're going to try and find a pathway out. Our longest term resident right now is Cheetah. He's been here for 13 to 14 months, and we've been working with him nonstop, trying to promote him and find him that unicorn adopter is what we call it.
Yeah, and we'll find him. It just takes time. And the reason why we're so meticulous in managing length of stay is because our job at the York County SPCA is to ensure safe, healthy communities. So it's important to us to place healthy animals out into the community, and also ones that we know are going to be behaviorally safe as well. So that's why we're so thoughtful about managing for length of stay. Okay, and so pit bull type dogs are the breeds of dogs that stay here the longest.
They do.
And the reason why they stay here the longest is for a couple of reasons. One is because of stereotypes. The other is because there's the most of them being created in York County. And then the third one is that we're seeing a lot of housing restrictions. So stereotypes, meaning that people think that they are not safe, they're not good with kids, that kind of thing?
Correct, yeah. People see them as inherently mean, inherently aggressive, and that's just not true. They're just like any other dog. They can be a couch potato if they want to be. They can be an adventure buddy. They can also have their quirks, and they could be mean, but they're just like every other dog, and every other breed has those exact same traits in different types of ways.
Yeah. And so for breed restrictions, we're seeing a lot of like apartment complexes, like more affordable housing kind of areas, put in specific restrictions against specific types of breeds of dogs, pit bulls being one of those. And so because of those restrictions, we're seeing more of them come into the shelter. And then of course, the reason why you see so many pit bull type dogs in the shelter is because there's the most of them being made. So it's all three of those factors that result in animals like this, that you see more of them in the shelter. But we know that that's not true.
Right.
And so this month, October, is Pit Bull Awareness Month, and we're trying to raise awareness about how awesome and loving and special these types of breeds of dogs are. And so that's why we're wearing these shirts. So if you out there want to help us raise awareness and support the York County SPCA, please consider purchasing one of these shirts, because that helps support through donations to our organization. So thank you for paying attention to these videos, and we hope that you've learned a little bit more about length of stay and how we manage for length of stay at the York County SPCA.